Let me see. It's Monday. No, it's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. You know what time it is. Go Sports presents on the daily. Cole Johnson live and in living color on the Daily's on tap, presented by Cole Sports. I'm hoping you're enjoying all the content that Cole Sports is putting out, doing different things. The mothership has returned. We're doing quick hits like 2-minute warning. We're going to do Patreon special content such as That Was Then and Extra. Tune in. This brand is exploding exponentially. And speaking of exploding, my head almost wanted to explode when I saw an image, and I'll show you the image later, but I just okay. Just run the beginning and I'll explain all of it a little later.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronsexual Confessions.
All right, so we're talking about Bronsexuals who take an athlete like LeBron James, and there's many fan bases in different genres and in different sports that do this. But in this case, they take LeBron James, who was an outstanding athlete, and they overinflate his stuff. I mean, it just goes overboard. I mean, overboard to the point where you gag and you want them to stop, and you almost have them turn this athlete to where you want to root against him. Not because of what he does, but because of what the fan base does. And it's getting more and more ridiculous. More and more ridiculous by the day. Let me give you an example. So these past 3 weeks, LeBron has gone on a tear. I mean, he's gone on a roughly 30 point, 6 rebounds, 7 assist tear. And he's been having this talk of, well, he might be an MVP candidate now. But how can you be an MVP candidate whereas we're halfway through the season and the team is 21 and 20? How can he be an MVP candidate? Because he's proven that basically his team is without him, and his team is but actually could be a good watch because it's like a train wreck with him. This team is struggling to remain above 500 with him. Without him, they just are simply sunk. They might as well be the Thunder or the Rockets. That's one example. Now, I mentioned the second one just briefly. MVP candidate, right? LeBron James, because he's 37. He's doing things that no other 37-year-old man has done. Mere mortals can't do what this superhuman can. That's the ridiculousness I'm talking about. How could this guy be up for the MVP when I can think of candidates off the bat who would be a better candidate for MVP than LeBron? And it's no slight against LeBron, because this isn't a lifetime achievement award, and that's something Bronsexuals seem to gloss over. They seem to forget. They seem to what's the word? They seem to want to collective amnesia because of it. They want collective amnesia to hit them in talking about him versus others when it comes to the MVP race. They simply are out of their doggone minds because they believe he should be awarded for his 19 years rather than the year that we're talking about in question. Because in 2022, I hate to break it to you, Bronsexuals, I can think of players like Stephen Curry of the Warriors, DeMar DeRozan of the Bulls, Kevin Durant of the Nets, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks, and John Morant of the Grizzlies. All of them are lapping the field with LeBron, and this has nothing to do with, well, LeBron is greater because he has amassed more stuff than the others have. I could care less what he has done career-wise. In 2022, he is not measured up to those names I just mentioned, and is not hate, Bronsexuals. It's fact. Fact, Bronsexuals. Look, I know that's a foreign concept to you, but that's just how it is. And so it leads me to this. I had a conversation with a Bronsexual, and you know how these train wrecks happen. This Bronsexual had the nerve, the temerity, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to show me a clip of when the Bulls were in Miami. And Rex Chapman was just woofing at Mike, saying that he can't guard me. You can't guard me, Mike. And proceeded to prove that Mike couldn't guard him that night. You know what I call that? I call that having a human moment for Michael Jordan. Just like when people strip LeBron James of the ball and run down and they go run down to the other end for a dunk. Meanwhile, LeBron has his hands on his hips, begging for a foul and not getting one. That's a human moment with him too. Yes, I mean, Jordan was crossed over by Iverson. But guess what happened? Jordan scored 35 and won that game. It's just ridiculous stuff like that. But it gets more ridiculous. I mean, it really does get more ridiculous. So, along with the comments, this Bronsexual had the nerve to opine, quote, you know, Scottie Pippen should have won Michael Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year award. Close quote.
You for real?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
That's what I want to say every time I see these ridiculous takes that Bronsexuals want to levy. Okay. Scottie Pippen should have won the Defensive Player of the Year award when Michael Jordan won it. Understand that Michael Jordan was in his fourth season in 1988. That's when he won it. Pippen was in his rookie season. It wasn't going to happen. I mean, Scottie Pippen, who basically was a pup in 88, a pup in 89, and not quite ready for prime time in 90, but was finally ready for prime time in 91, should have won Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. See, this is what you Bronsexuals do. You make us all laugh because of the stupidity that you subject us to. And speaking of stupidity that Bronsexuals subject us to, here is another piece. So I was perusing social media, and I got this LeBron through the years image. And it talks about him at age 17, age 27, and age 37. On his face, very innocuous, right? Very harmless, correct? You know, it's supposed to prove that LeBron was great from the time he was in high school until now, and he is almost on his way into retirement. 20 years of absolute greatness. But wait a minute. Look at that picture closely once again. Yes, I'm seeing it too. Yeah. All right. So at 27, he was a Heat. At 37, he is a Laker. At 17, he was not a Cavalier. At 17, he was at St. Vincent St. Mary's in Akron, Ohio. Why is this a picture of LeBron in Cavaliers gear at 17 years of age? And the first game LeBron ever played in the NBA was when he was 18 years old. So, Bronsexuals, when you come with this stuff, Google. Please, Google's your friend. Study, do your research, because you're going to make people who are ignorant of the fact think, oh, wow. So you mean to tell me that LeBron's averaged 28 points his rookie season in the NBA? Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable. But guess what, Bronsexuals? I know of a guy who averaged 28 points his rookie season in the NBA, and his name is Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Of course.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Bronsexuals reach. They reach, and they reach some more. It's absolutely ridiculous. But should I even be surprised? I mean, after all, when it comes to you Bronsexuals, you want your man to be proud of you, because you're nothing more than one of his 100 millions follower.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of the Bronsexual Confessions.
Now, if you happen to agree with what I have to say, please comment. And if you don't, please comment too, because I want to hear what you have to say. Bronsexuals, LeBron James fans, and VIPs alike, come on. I want to hear what you have to say. Like this video and share throughout your social media community. All of them. Comment below because I want to hear what you have to say. Don't forget, hit that notification bell and subscribe to this channel for any and all content that comes from here on the Daily, Extra, That Was Then, 2-Minute Warning, or the Mothership, Cole Sports, the broadcast. Well, that's all the time I have. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you, VIP, and I love you too, Bronsexuals. For all of us here at Cole Sports, I'm Cole Johnson, and this has been yet another installment of Cole Sports on the visual and on the daily.